Lindsey Graham, who represented South Carolina in the U.S. Senate for more than 20 years, has been laid to rest.
Remembrance ceremonies continue today with the funeral procession starting at the South Carolina State House and a flyover from McEntire Joint National Guard Base. Now the procession continued down Main Street to First Baptist Church in Columbia, where a church service was held for Graham. A private family burial is being held in Pickens County this afternoon. Graham passed away earlier this month after a brief illness. He was 71 years old.
And with the longtime senator now laid to rest, attention is now turning to the race to fill his seat. Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham, was appointed to serve in his place until a special election can be held this November. Yesterday, was the deadline for candidates to file, and 12 Republicans, including Darlene Graham, are vying for the Republican nomination. Only those who voted for the Republican ballot in the June primary or did not vote at all in the primary can vote in the special Republican primary. Early voting begins August 5th, next Wednesday, and runs through the 7th, with Election Day set for Tuesday, August 11th. The deadline to request an absentee ballot is this Friday. The Republican nominee will face Democrat Dr. Annie Andrews in November. The South Carolina Republican Party will host a GOP U.S. Senate debate next week. It'll take place on Monday from 7 to 8 at night. A location for the debate has not yet been announced.
WSAV is your local election headquarters. With the November election less than 100 days away, Georgia's gubernatorial candidates are nonstop canvassing the state. Democratic candidate Keisha Lance Bottoms is campaigning in the Coastal Empire today. WSAV's Evan Smoke is joining us from our Statesboro Bureau on the campus of Georgia Southern University with the details now on her stop in Bullock County.
Today, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Keisha Lance Bottoms hosted a roundtable in downtown Statesboro to hear from local workers and residents about health care issues that impact them. Now, this was done through a panel discussion and a Q&A format. Bottoms heard from attendees on a variety of concerns, including health care access here in the Statesboro region. Now, Statesboro is the regional hub for health care for surrounding counties, but despite this, locals say finding the care you need isn't always easy.
Access to rural health care is a huge problem, but one of the things that we heard today was it's not just about health care, it's about providing infrastructure for transportation. It's about making sure that where possible we can expand jobs in this area so that people have access to health insurance. What we know is that all of our issues are interrelated.
Bottoms also has events tomorrow in Woodbine and Brunswick, as well as a discussion with veterans in Richmond Hill on Friday. Live from Statesboro, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Evan, thank you. We spoke with a political expert who tells us that coastal Georgia will be critical for Keisha Lance Bottoms, and the key will be getting voters to turn out.
Georgia is extremely important statewide. There's pretty much a lockdown in a lot of other parts of the state. We're a little more diverse and interesting, I think, electorally than other parts of the state. She's got to get those people out to vote. One of the ways that you do that is you generate enthusiasm, and one of the ways that you generate enthusiasm is you show up.
Meanwhile, Republican nominee Rick Jackson has spent last night in St. Mary's. He met with voters and heard what's driving their decisions ahead of November.
A politician is a businessman, and I think we need more people like him.
Jackson announced his run in early February, going on to win the Republican nomination after defeating former Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. During his stop in St. Mary's, Jackson did not make a speech, nor did he talk to the media. You can stay on top of election information here in Georgia and also South Carolina anytime simply by going to WSAV.com/electionhq.
An investigation underway after Statesboro police found a body overnight. Details are limited at this time, but we're told the body was an adult man. It was discovered near the railroad tracks on East Jones Avenue. The body is being taken to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation Crime Lab in Pooler for an autopsy. An investigation underway on Hilton Head Island to find out what caused a fire at a marina this morning. By the time it was out, several boats were destroyed. WSAV's Danielle Ruddy spoke to boat owners who now have to figure out what comes next.
Early this morning, fire broke out right here at the Palmetto Bay Marina. The smell of smoke still remains. Fire officials tell me no one was hurt and there are about 7 boats completely out of commission.
I was looking out the windows and I just saw nothing but orange. I mean, it was like the sun was right next to us.
Which is how Gary Sturlow describes the scene at Palmetto Bay Marina just after 4 Wednesday morning when a fire broke out. Firefighters were called after some reported heavy fire coming from multiple boats and portions of the dock. We're told 10 boats in total were affected, 7 are out of commission, and 3 suffered minor damage. Some boats were houseboats, resulting in owners without a shore place to lay their heads tonight. Fire officials say marina fires are a challenge to put out.
We have to get a lot of hose on the ground. We have, this water that we're working around, making sure that all the gear that we wear, we have to be very safe to make sure nobody's going to fall in. So it just creates some more challenges.
The cause of the fire still remains under investigation, and the marina is still open for operations today. On Hilton Head Island, I'm Danielle Ruddy, WSAV News 3 on your side.
The Bullitt County Fire Department says that crews continue to work to put out hotspots in hard-to-reach areas near Bowie Driggers Road. At last check, the fire covered about 390 acres, was 90% contained. Sheriff's deputies continue to limit traffic in the area to residents and emergency crews. Officials are also asking people not to fly drones in the area since that can interfere with forestry aircraft.
An investigation underway after 2 planes had a near miss at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Officials say a flight from Pittsburgh to Atlanta Monday was about to land, but the pilots performed a go-around after seeing another plane on the runway. After doing that, the Delta plane then passed within 1,800 feet of another aircraft that was taking off. Delta says the pilots followed standard procedures to safely maintain separation from the other aircraft, and the plane landed without incident. The airline adds its pilots regularly train for situations like this and says it will fully cooperate with the investigation by the Federal Aviation Administration.
Members of a local sports league are crying foul about the condition of the place where they practice and play. They are part of the Savannah Roller Hockey League, and they say their rink at Lake Mayer is in bad need of repair. As WSAV's Nikaya Harris tells us, they are hoping that Chatham County leaders can step in to fix it.
This isn't just a roller rink. This is a place where people come to skate to the sound of music and hang out with friends and even play roller hockey. But some of the people that know this rink best says it's time for some upgrades, and they hope their concerns don't get left on the sidelines. The Savannah Roller Hockey League has spent years practicing and playing games at the Lake Mayer rink. But Commissioners Ryan Semko and Joe Chanel say the surface has begun to deteriorate. They say rain and extreme heat have taken a toll on the rink, leading to wear, falls, and even canceled games when water pools on the surface. The league also says members have stepped in to help maintain the rink themselves. After meeting with the Chatham County officials in April, they say they're hopeful improvements are on the horizon.
It seemed like we were met with good ideas, which was more or less creating a new area for the rink so that it could be designed with real regulation sized hockey rink, also with a covering, hopefully some type of air circulation or indoor style rink.
WSAV is still waiting for a response from Chatham County to talk more about the plans of the roller rink. We'll update as we learn more. Nikaya Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Well, this Wednesday afternoon, we are watching the traffic down in Richmond Hill along I-95. This is the view at Ford Avenue looking northbound. Traffic is flowing smoothly heading toward the Ogeechee River Bridge. So heading southbound, flowing smoothly in this vantage point as well. So overall, not a bad drive along I-95. Seeing some minor delays along Interstate 16 at times. Heading westbound toward Pooler just past I-95. There's a delay there at Pooler Parkway. Just extra volume they're trying to get off at the off-ramp there for Pooler Parkway and the Low Country 278 May River Road, Okatee Highway, and everything else. All those major roadways looking pretty good this afternoon. Taking just a little bit of extra time to head down to Richmond Hill along US 17, taking 27 minutes, just over an hour to get to Hilton Head.